So the lesson is about right decision. So in past I made a lot of decision and I didn't know if they were good or wrong and how to approach the whole thing because we don't want to lose a chance, but we want to choose the most important path that is in front of us, to have to go to this alpha map. And the thing I would start is about the logic. As I was talking in my YouTube, maybe you saw it, our logical mind cannot comprehend all the information, right? That's why we use our intuition. At the same time, 70% of dreams are not ours, are goals at the same way. Are programmed, are inherited, and with this hundreds of years of programming is extremely not easy for us to know what to do and how to do, especially when we are, visualizing by seeing the goals but not feelings. We can manifest those things, but not necessarily be happy with them, right? Yes, we can test few paths by logic and know how we will feel by doing certain things. But the point is here to follow your intuition. And intuition is mean frequency, is mean vibration. So the first method about making a decision is intuition. And how do you understand it? So it's not always when you feel that this exactly decision or move won't be stressful, you won't feel fear. Actually, you might feel, you might not. Because some people would say that we afraid the most what we desire the most, yeah. But I do believe that when you feel something is right, even though you feel fear and you're afraid because it might be outside of your comfort zone, there is a certain part of a peace inside. And how you can define this peace and this right decision. So you have to find how your body is telling you yes and no. A very with the no, it would be easier. The very big no is when you feel anxieties, but these anxieties are so strong you cannot sleep, you cannot think, you have a lot of, thinking, what if, and you have a lot of the suspicious thinking that is usually not always there. Because as I said, when you follow the intuition, even if it's something scary, it should be an element of peace. So one is the feeling. You will feel this off vibe if no, something doesn't feel right. Doesn't feel right. Doesn't feel right. Really doesn't feel right for me, right? And it's not about even ever to compare because what is right for you and what is your path and the highest potential path is not for the human. So it's always focus on you, never compare to other people. So if something feel off, not right, this is no or wait, then you can do a muscle test. But for the muscle test, it's very important for you to be neutral because you can override the body behavior. So for example, when something is not right for you, and your body is usually smarter and faster in energy than your mind. It's always faster. That's why intuition, especially now when we have AI and we are drowning in a tons of knowledge and information, but your body will always let you know if this person, if this direction, if this work is right. So for example, if I'm thinking about going, let's say, to work for somebody now, I will put my microphone here. And I'm thinking about it. I'm taking my hand, it's still, and I'm thinking about working for a project A. And you see the hand is going right the way down. I don't care about this project, so I'm fully neutral. And now I'm thinking about working on another project. And you see, my hand stays still. This is a good sign for another project because my body is still strong. Some people hear yes and no. Some people, when it's no, they feel this heavy feeling of their chest, or they feel the scramble in their womb if it's a woman, or a man feel scramble in their belly, like this. This is this uncomfortable, not nice, not pleasant kind of vibe, heavy vibe, heavy vibe. I do also like to jump when it comes about decision, when something is giving me power, giving me energy. I have energy to jump. If something is totally against my soul, against my alignment, I don't have energy even to jump or to talk about this. It's like taking my power from me, this direction. And as I said, we cannot foresee everything with a logic because nowadays the universe and the knowledge, everything is changing so fast. But the energy, the intuition will always let you know. You can simply ask your question, what is the best thing to focus right now? And without thinking, answer. There's this book link saying that in few first seconds, and not only this one, but many others, we are right in an assessment of what is good, what is right, what will be successful or not successful. So answer very fast without thinking. You can also ask universe for signs. For example, my friends, they didn't know they should move or not, so they asked for signs, and then in random places they would find a books or a notes, or somebody would start talking about things about that country. So they decided to move, and it was very good direction. Somebody else was trying to find the answer if they should change the direction of their career or not. And then they started to see the sign change, and they started, to implement changes. So it's all about the creativity and asking for the signs and confirmation. What I like also to do when it comes about making a decision is when I have an intuition. For example, I had an intuition to create certain products, but I knew it wasn't the right time. I would ask my intuition when would be the right time, and I would put it into calendar to make decision about this product or to do this certain things. And up to that point, my body, my mind, my soul would be already ready to make steps. Because as I said, I'm a kind of a fan of doing things without forcing them. And this is how I approach fully things. That you create a natural motivation by deep why, deep programming and routine, and not push against the body. That's why we're gonna talk a lot about body homeostasis, because once your body and soul and mind all together are all bonded, your path to the success is faster, easier, and nicer. And in life is about living, not pushing against the currents, but about to be in the currents that are pushing you forward. So now I covered the way how you can make decision. I want just to add that there is no right or wrong decision, because on the way we are also having lessons. So sometimes we will have to make certain decision. We might not be happy in the end, but I do believe that there are no things, no coincidence. So if you made a decision, this was the best decision you could make, and that current level of consciousness, and it was actually right decision, because you don't know, without doing that decision, you wouldn't be able to learn and wouldn't be able to quantum jump and to develop and to move forward in the way you did. So I don't believe one more time in coincidence. Even if you did certain things, it was a lesson, it was an opportunity, it was how it's supposed to be. I do believe we are part of a bigger plan, and in making any decision, following intuition and trusting everything gonna be okay, trusting yourself, trusting your soul, your body, your mind, your heart, because you will also ask First, what do you afraid? And then you can ask your soul, heart, higher self, and spirit what has to say. And you have to learn to trust it because you have yourself and you have all the wisdom is inside, and you are the only one person who know what is the best for you. Sometimes we try to ask everybody around, and we are getting more confused, more confused, more confused. So my advice would be at some point to spend some time alone, to give yourself a few days until you are fully ready and to make decision and to progress within what you are progressing. So this is it.